Rioters now have their own dating app. It's called Plenty of Sheep. A Jew, a Muslim, and a Jehovah's Witness were driving through the countryside when their car broke down. The only house in the vicinity was an old farmhouse, so they decided to stay there for the night. "I'm so sorry," said the farmer. "The bed in the guest room only has room for 2 people." So he volunteered the Jew to sleep in the barn. 5 minutes later, the farmer heard a knock on the door. He opened the door, and there was the Jew. "What are you doing here?" asked the farmer. "I'm afraid I cannot sleep in the barn because there is a pig in the barn, and my religion considers pigs to be unclean animals." "Very well," said the farmer. "You can sleep in the guest room." And he volunteered the Muslim to sleep in the barn. 5 minutes later, the farmer heard a knock on the door. He opened the door, and there was the Muslim. "What are you doing here?" asked the farmer. "I'm afraid I cannot sleep in the barn because there is a pig in the barn, and my religion considers pigs to be unclean animals." "Very well," said the farmer. "You can sleep in the guest room." And he volunteered the Jehovah's Witness to sleep in the barn. 5 minutes later, the farmer heard a knock on the door. He opened the door, and there was the pig. A very shy guy goes into a nightclub and sees a beautiful woman sitting at the bar. After an hour of gathering up his courage, he finally goes over to her and asks, tentatively, "Would you mind if I chatted with you for a while?" She responds by yelling, at the top of her lungs, "No, I won't sleep with you tonight." Everyone in the bar is now staring at them. Naturally, the guy is completely embarrassed and he slinks back to his table. After a few minutes, the woman walks over to him and apologizes. She smiles at him and says, "I'm sorry if I embarrassed you. You see, I'm a graduate student in psychology and I'm studying how people respond to embarrassing situations." To which he responds, at the top of his lungs, $200? "What do you mean $200? Exclamation mark. 2 electricians are standing on a ladder leaned against a utility pole, when an elderly lady was passing below them. One of the electricians calls her. "Excuse me, Mom, could you pass us that wire, so we don't have to climb down?" "This one, young man?" "Yes, that one." "Thank you so much, Mom, you're very kind." "No problem, dear." After the lady passed him the wire, and left, the electrician tells his mate, "See, Fred, I told you this was the neutral wire, but no, you had to insist that it was the phase line." Little Johnny comes home from the Sunday school. His father asks him what they were talking about. "Exodus," he answers. "Oh, and what did you learn?" inquires father. "Well, you see, Moses was leading his people out of Egypt and they came to the Red Sea. To get across, Moses picks up his radio and calls for engineers. They quickly build pontoon bridge and Jews cross it. Once across, they see Pharaoh approaching. So Moses again picks up the radio and calls an airstrike. As Pharaoh and his men are crossing, bombers blow the bridge apart and everybody drowns. Jews then continue their journey in peace. "Really? They told you that in Sunday school?" is father skeptical. "Well, no," admits Johnny, "but if I tell you what they really told us, you'll never believe me." Please smash the like button, and subscribe to my channel.